working with purpose. It's the most important thing that you could do. They're just flailing around. They're thinking, I just need some damn money so I can pay the bills. That's when things go to crap. Explaining to an employer why you left the job can be one of the hardest things that you'll ever do. It gets rather, tricky on the resume when you say, oh yeah, I quit the job or I left the job because, and all employers want to know. Employers want to know, what was the motivation for you to leave a position or for you to have been fired or whatever it is. And it's one of those things because it's the key opportunity in which you either get hired at your next job or you don't. Because if your answer is insufficient or flag worthy or a little cringe, you're not going to get hired for the next position. And it's one of those things that's very important to consider as you're thinking about your future, as you're thinking about the job that you're applying for, that you're thinking about what kind of life that you want for yourself. And there are situations where we have to think about this on the resume, where we have to explain why we left the job. And this is one of the most important factors on a resume, important factors during an interview. It is the life and death of communication between you and the other person to understand your situation. It is actually the ideal opportunity to sell you in the interview. We have this question put out on Reddit where they say, I was demoted due to budget cuts. How do I address this on LinkedIn and resume? Hi all, I work for a government agency and we have had a decreasing budget every year since I started 4 years ago. I was originally a department manager overseeing a team of 3, then 2. Now I'm the department coordinator with no reports because the manager position was cut. Much of my job is the same except the extra work I've absorbed and not having reports. How do I list this on a resume and LinkedIn without it looking like a huge red flag? So first of all, whenever you put something on LinkedIn or you put something on your resume, make sure they always match. Make sure the two match. I've said this in other videos, but LinkedIn is used as the template. LinkedIn should always be the base, should always be the source in which you build your own resume. Because employers, recruiters, hiring managers, they like to look at your resume profile and to see if it matches the resume. Because that tells them how truthful you are. It tells them how organized you are. And that sets up flags, red flags, yellow flags, orange flags, whichever color flags you want in itself, if those two things don't match. So that's the first thing. The next is how to address this on LinkedIn and on your resume. That you've been moved from being a manager to just being a coordinator. Just be truthful. Just put it on there. And actually, I'll tell you why. Put it on the resume just as that. Worked for government agency as a manager for 3 years. Now government agency, now work for the same government agency on LinkedIn as a coordinator. And to some people, to be honest with you, it's only a demotion if you see it as a demotion. And it's only a demotion if your next employer sees it as a demotion. See, many a times we like to think, oh, we went from being a manager to a coordinator. And you're like, okay, well, that's a demotion in title. But many times employers will go, oh, well, the next job is always a promotion. It's never looked at as a demotion. Now, with that being said, what should we do in this case? What is the right answer? The right answer is to be truthful. And the right answer is to start looking for another job. And that's not usually the right way to go. That's not always the right way to go. But looking for a next job is the right answer. And I'll tell you why. When you go into an interview, when you are talking to a recruiter and they say, well, why are you leaving your current job? And you say, well, it's easy. I have been moved down from being a manager where I had subordinates, where I got to be in charge of other people. And because of budget cuts, I got moved to a coordinator position. I have no subordinates. I don't really want that. I want a position where I'm managing others. Easy, super easy. That's like the easiest explanation to provide. And it helps you explain what it is that you are after as an employee. And it helps explain easily without red flags as to why you're ready to move on to another position. But the interesting part about this is that this person sees the demotion as a negative thing, which it is. But they think that it's going to appear as a red flag, meaning they did something wrong, so they got demoted. No. There were budget cuts, government job. I think we can all understand that. I think we're all pretty much, and if you come off as a professional person and you don't show that you're sad about it or disappointed or that it emotionally scarred you, yeah, I think we'll all pretty well understand what just happened. So that would be the answer. That would be the correct course of action. Because honestly, if they've already moved your position from manager to coordinator, they're probably going to get rid of the coordinator position. Not only that, but the coordinator position is going to get really heavy. There's going to be a lot more work to do, and it's going to become really stressful. The more important component of this, however, is the longer you sit in the coordinator position, the less likely that you'll be able to get another position that you're actually after. Now, you might have a year, you might have 6 months, you have some time. But if you wait 5 years and then you try to use that as an excuse for why you're leaving, it's not going to work anymore. It's not going to be as good as it used to be. Actually, your managerial skills are now going to be a little bit outdated. And so you should definitely be looking for another job right now. But the key here, and the big thing that we need to understand, is that when we are looking for, when we are in a situation to where maybe our positions are being downgraded or you're being demoted, we need to have, no matter what your employment situation is, we need to be thinking about what that next job is, what our vision is, what is it that we're going to strive for. We need to set our goals. There needs to be something that we want in life. Now, based on this, all the person wanted was just their job. Yep, that's all they do. They go to work and that's it. They have no purpose in life, nothing. They're not yet stale. They're not yet burnt out. They just wanted that job. Now, that may be true, and maybe some of you can do that. I know I can't do that. I have to have purpose in my life. But at some point here, this person is saying they're giving their values by what they said. They want to have subordinates. They want to manage people. They want to be a manager. Then you need to start looking for a manager job. If that is your purpose in life, is to, and that's what you want to do in life, is to manage others, you need to start looking for another manager position where you get to manage others. See, oftentimes the old people from my perspective would always say things like, you just need to get a full-time job. That's all you need in life. It's just a full-time job. And I always thought that to be rather odd, and I don't think people really look at it that same way. They don't say it. But they may not say it, but they certainly act it a lot of times. Where they're just like, well, as long as I have a full-time, I'm employed, so I'm happy. This is who I am. This is my identity. I am a school teacher, and that's it. And maybe they're okay with that. Maybe they're okay with that right now. And as much as I don't want it to be, maybe there's just a lot of people out there who all they need is a full-time job. Much like what the old timers used to tell me. Just get a full-time job. And I think there's a lot of value to that. I think there's some value to that. But working with purpose, it's the most important thing that you could do. It's the most powerful tool for your career. Working with a purpose is the thing that's going to get you to where you want to go, where you won't just be another person, because you have a purpose. And maybe a job is just a job. But when you're striving for something, when you're purposefully going for something, that is when you actually achieve. And that is, maybe the job that you're currently working is not that place, but maybe it's a stepping stone. Maybe it's a bus stop. and you're waiting for the next bus. Maybe that's the next place that you need to be in order to get to whatever your purpose is. But too many people function without a purpose. They don't know what it is. They're just flailing around. They're thinking, I just need some damn money so I can pay the bills. Well, yeah, that's understandable. But the purpose is what's going to give you, it's going to stave away the mental illness. Purpose is what's going to make it so you can get up in the morning and so you can feel good about your life. Because when we don't have purpose, when we're stagnant, that's when things go to crap. That's it for today. I'm SB Graham. This is JobFerno. If you have any questions, send me an email at questions@jobferno.com. And as always, choose skills over money.